Welcome to Psych IQ. Join us on this introspective journey as we uncover 40 facts shedding light on the complex tapestry of the INFJ psyche. 1. High standards for themselves. INFJs set incredibly high standards for themselves, often surpassing those placed by external expectations. This pursuit of excellence can create a perpetual sense of falling short. 2. Idealistic vision of perfection. Their idealistic vision of perfection extends not only to their actions but also to the impact they wish to have on the world. The dissonance between the ideal and reality fuels feelings of inadequacy. 3. Comparing themselves to others. INFJs have a tendency to compare themselves to others, especially those they perceive as achieving more or embodying qualities they admire. This habit can undermine their sense of self-worth. 4. Overthinking past mistakes. INFJs have a knack for overthinking past mistakes, replaying scenarios in their minds and dwelling on perceived shortcomings. This self-critical loop intensifies feelings of inadequacy. 5. Fear of disappointing others. The fear of disappointing others, coupled with a desire to meet expectations, can be a relentless source of pressure for INFJs. Falling short of these expectations contributes to feelings of not being good enough. 6. Taking on others' emotions. As empaths, INFJs absorb the emotions of those around them. If they sense disappointment or dissatisfaction in others, they may internalize these emotions, contributing to their own feelings of inadequacy. 7. Inner conflict between dreams and reality. There's often an inner conflict between the INFJ's grand dreams and the limitations of reality. This dichotomy can be emotionally taxing and lead to a sense of unfulfillment. 8. Perfectionism in relationships. In relationships, INFJs may strive for an idealized version of love and connection. When real-life relationships don't match this perfection, they may feel they are falling short as partners. 9. Difficulty accepting praise. Despite their accomplishments, INFJs may struggle to accept praise. Instead of acknowledging their successes, they may downplay their achievements, reinforcing a sense of not measuring up. 10. Inner critic dominance. The inner critic, a relentless voice of self-judgment, often dominates the INFJ's thoughts. This internal dialogue can be harsh, fostering a constant sense of not meeting their own standards. 11. Sensitivity to criticism. INFJs, with their sensitivity, can be deeply affected by criticism. Even constructive feedback may be perceived as a personal failure, amplifying their feelings of inadequacy. 12. Unrealistic expectations of self-improvement. While self-improvement is a noble pursuit, INFJs may set unrealistically high expectations for their personal growth. The slow pace of progress can evoke feelings of stagnation and inadequacy. 13. Chronic imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, the persistent belief of being a fraud despite evidence of competence, is a common companion for INFJs. This constant fear of being exposed can undermine their confidence. 14. Difficulty in celebrating achievements. Celebrating achievements can be challenging for INFJs. Instead of relishing in success, they may quickly shift focus to what they could have done better, perpetuating a cycle of self-doubt. 15. Yearning for external validation. While INFJs possess an internal compass, they may yearn for external validation to affirm their worth. Relying heavily on others' opinions can intensify feelings of inadequacy. 16. Fear of not meeting expectations. INFJs fear not living up to the expectations they've set for themselves and those imposed by others. This fear can create a constant undercurrent of anxiety about falling short. 17. Difficulty saying no. A reluctance to say no and set boundaries can lead INFJs to take on more than they can handle. When they inevitably feel overwhelmed, it reinforces the belief that they are not competent enough. 18. Hypervigilance to others' needs. INFJs are attuned to the needs of others, often at the expense of their own well-being. Prioritizing others can create a sense of neglecting their own needs, contributing to feelings of inadequacy. 19. Perceived inconsistency in values. If INFJs perceive a misalignment between their values and their actions, it triggers a sense of internal conflict. This perceived inconsistency can erode their self-esteem. 20. Feeling like outsiders. INFJs, with their unique perspectives, may feel like outsiders in a world that doesn't always align with their ideals. This sense of being different can contribute to feelings of not fitting in. 21. Reluctance to seek help. Seeking help is seen as a vulnerability, and INFJs may hesitate to reach out for support. This reluctance stems from a desire to be self-sufficient and capable. 22. Unrealistic responsibility for others' happiness. Taking on responsibility for others' happiness is a heavy burden. INFJs may feel inadequate if they perceive themselves as falling short in providing the support and joy they believe others deserve. 23. Balancing personal and external expectations. Striking a balance between personal aspirations and external expectations is a delicate act for INFJs. The constant juggling can create a persistent sense of not doing enough. 24. Comparison to their own potential. INFJs often measure their success against their own perceived potential rather than external benchmarks. This self-imposed standard can lead to feelings of underachievement. 25. Pursuit of unattainable perfection. The pursuit of an unattainable perfection can be a Sisyphean task for INFJs. Each perceived imperfection becomes a reminder of the gap between reality and the ideal. 26. Difficulty letting go of past failures. Past failures can linger in the INFJ's psyche, acting as anchors that weigh down their sense of self-worth. Letting go of these perceived failures is a challenging process. 27. Comparison to their own ideals. INFJs may compare their current selves to the idealized versions they envision. This internal contrast can lead to a sense of inadequacy if the reality doesn't align with their aspirations. 28. Feeling responsible for others' emotions. The INFJ's sense of responsibility extends to the emotions of those around them. If others express unhappiness or disappointment, they may internalize these emotions, contributing to self-doubt. 29. Unmet desire for appreciation. While INFJs may tirelessly contribute to the well-being of others, they may harbor an unmet desire for appreciation and acknowledgement. The absence of recognition can fuel feelings of not being valued. 30. Fear of being misunderstood. The fear of being misunderstood can be paralyzing for INFJs. If their intentions are misconstrued, it reinforces a sense of not being able to convey their true selves effectively. 31. Difficulty accepting compliments. Accepting compliments graciously can be a challenge for INFJs. Rather than internalizing positive feedback, they may deflect or downplay praise, dismissing their own accomplishments. 32. Fear of letting others down. The fear of letting others down, whether in personal or professional realms, can be a driving force for INFJs. This fear intensifies if they perceive themselves as falling short of expectations. 33. Devaluing their own needs. INFJs may devalue their own needs in favor of attending to others. Prioritizing the needs of others over their own contributes to a sense of inadequacy in fulfilling their personal goals. 34. Striving for unattainable harmony. The pursuit of harmonious relationships and environments may lead INFJs to strive for an unattainable level of peace. Perceived discord can be deeply disheartening. 35. Reluctance to showcase talents. Despite possessing unique talents, INFJs may hesitate to showcase them. Fear of judgment or inadequacy can lead them to keep their abilities hidden. 36. Feeling overlooked and underappreciated. The feeling of being overlooked or underappreciated, whether in personal or professional spheres, contributes to a sense of not being good enough despite their efforts. 37. Perfectionism and self-expression. INFJs may exhibit perfectionism in how they express themselves, whether through writing, art, or communication. The fear of not capturing their true essence can hinder creative expression. 38. Reluctance to assert themselves. Assertiveness can be challenging for INFJs, especially when it involves expressing their needs or desires. The reluctance to assert themselves